All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. All right, now this is why we give double honors to our elders. And I always say apostle elders in my opening because as Apostle Tahar, right, the head apostle, he has explained that we're all apostles, all right, being sent out, all right. So we're prophets that are apostolized. We've been sent out by Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham Ha Rakah Kodash, all right. And he has set up an order, okay, and that order is starting with the head apostle, elders, which are ruling Great Millstone well today. All right, in 2023, the year that we pray and hope that Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai fulfills all the prophecies and that we're relieved of this oppression and, in fact, reinstated to our into our original glory. Now, in this video, the elders of, I believe this is LA, you know, they show spiritual power here, dealing with this devil Reuben Israel, which this video was brought to my attention through the YouTube because he died and the brother did a video on it, how this dude just dropped dead, you know, a day ago. All right, but when I was watching this video, I noticed what the elders were doing, and this is edifying for the body on how to deal with the devil, all right?
90% of the population in jail to beat our people?
Well, when you start beating each other,
So when he comes up, he's very aggressive, right? And he's trying to get his point heard more than the brother's point.
Out of it, guys. If race means so much, why is South Central, why is South Side of Chicago so filled with murder and killing? Because they're suicide. Race matters.
You know why?
Which he's accusing the brethren, right? He's the accuser of our brethren, the red devil.
This guy, what's he even doing here?
Who put the drugs in the community?
Oh, the white man. Exactly. Come on. Show some responsibility. You know how many times I've preached in prison and everybody's innocent? Hey, they deserve to go to jail.
Really?
They deserve to go to jail.
Do they deserve for 90% of the population in jail to beat our people?
Well, when you start beating each other, when a black man can't even keep his family together.
What about the cops that kill Hispanics and Negroes?
Doesn't matter. You freeze when the officer says
it
freeze.
don't matter when it's murder?
I can care less what color of skin that guy
Of course
has.
you don't, because you're an Edomite.
No, I'm not.
You are
when that nice officer tells you to put your hands up, you don't scratch your nuts, you don't reach for your cell phone, you don't pull your pants up.
All right. So the elder, he's about to pretty much cut the devil with the word, right? Here it is in James 4, verse 5. Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? All right, dealing with this world. All right. But he giveth more grace, right? The Lord giveth us grace. His grace is sufficient. Which the devil, he's in the brother's face trying to accuse him. That's what the so-called white man does. He accuses the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which been scattered throughout the world in slavery. And he accuses us through his propaganda, through his media, through his judicial system. All right, he accuses us. It says, but he giveth more grace. The Lord gives us enough grace to survive. Wherefore he saith, Yahweh and his son Yahushai resisteth the proud. Right? He's not for the devil, the so-called white man. He gives grace to Israel, and that's why we were able to endure such a brutal slavery, was because of the mercy of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. But the so-called white man, there's no mercy coming for him. and this is why he shall not understand. The Lord resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. The humble, it goes back to humility, all right, to be humiliated. So that's what this devil was doing. He was trying to humiliate the brothers, all right, because he has a group of cameramen that follow him, and he was trying to get some kind of vainglory for himself coming against the elders and the brothers that are in the LA camp, all right. But they resisted the devil. It says, verse 7, submit yourselves therefore to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to power, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands. And that's what the brother did. Yeah, we're going to blame Esau. All right? Because, yeah, we are in slavery because we sinned. Right? But now we're repenting. So now we're being persecuted for righteousness' sake. Because this devil don't want to let us go. We're supposed to already be in our promised land. But this red devil, he don't want to let us go. So we're going to blame the so-called white man for all the wickedness in this world because he is to be blamed for it. He's the devil that is in control of all resources, control of laws, control of money, control of power, control of honor, control of life and death. The so-called white man is guilty of all bad things. All right? All good gifts come from above. It says, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, which is our power, and he will draw nigh to you. Right? Yahweh, our power. Yahushai, our Savior, his Son. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, which is your mind. Ye double-minded, which if you're double-minded, you shall not receive nothing from Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. All right? So we got to have complete faith in Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. And you can see that on these brothers. All right? I'm going to play the rest of it where you see him actually cast him out. All right? Where that devil, what he's hearing, it's too painful to him. So he has to walk away because there's no coming back from what they actually say to him through the Spirit. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, and he shall lift ye up. Okay? So when they're coming at you, what the brothers did was, it's just like jujitsu or judo. All right? If someone's putting their pressure upon you, you're able to use their own pressure, their own weight, to throw them out of balance, to pretty much, do a trip, do a shoulder flip, do some kind of maneuver to use their own force against them. And that's what the elder brothers are doing right here.
You do that, you get shot. You are Satan, man. Yeah, you are. No, you get shot. You get shot.
See, so he identified him as Satan.
And what's this guy doing here? Who's this guy? He's an Israelite. He's an Israelite. He's got white skin. No, he don't. Let's call a spade, boys.
That's a Latino.
This guy ain't no blacking.
A so-called Latino.
And that's what the devil does. He comes to cause confusion.
Oh, yeah.
So-called Latino Israelite.
Come on.
We the princes of God.
He just hates
we
white
are the
men.
princes of God.
That's all. Right.
We are the princes of God over here.
Your propaganda ain't working.
Princes of God. Yeah, that's right.
See, and this is how the devil came to Yahushai in Matthew 4. It says in verse 1, then was Yahushai led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. This devil is dealing with Satan, the angel, okay? It says, and when because that's what's on that man, whether he's an Israelite or not, right? Because he says he's a Hispanic, which I could see that, but then I could also see him being a conquistador, an Edomite, a terror. And it says, I read verse 1, verse 2, When he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when demons come on you in the flesh, where you're being tormented in the mind, that's how you get rid of them. You gotta fast and pray. It says, verse 3, and when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the son of Yahweh, right? If you're an Israelite, you can't be an Israelite, right? That's what this devil's doing right here.
Your propaganda ain't working.
Princes of God. Yeah, that's right.
Your propaganda's not working, man. Each other, and that's a prince of God.
We are the princes of the Most High.
White women aborting, black women aborting their babies, and they're the prince.
Who gave them that option to do that?
Doesn't matter.
Who set them up?
Doesn't matter.
Who set them up to do
They're
that?
not going by a gun to go there.
There's always somebody who set
Blame
up
it
a trap.
on the white man.
You goddamn right we blame it on the white man.
Man, you guys are wrong.
Who's putting chemtrails in the air?
Oh, come on. When you fly a jet at a certain altitude,
who's destroying the
you get
water
that
in the neighborhood?
snow.
You see what just happened? They are the offensive and he's on the defense. They switched it and put his energy on his own head. You know? You're saying that we should be locked up. Hey, who's committing all these atrocities throughout the world? The so-called white man. Right? Who bombed Japan with atomic bombs? Right? Why is there starving children? Whose wars? Who's funding these wars? Why are there wars? Who's controlling the wars? Who set up the wars from the past? It's because this devil, the so-called white man, was created to take peace from the earth by stirring up war. He was given the sword and deception to cover the earth and to rule for a certain time, and now he's at his end. And the power is being given over to the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which have been scattered throughout the world as slavery. All right, we have the power to prophesy today, but soon we're going to actually have the power to actually decide who live and die. All right, according to biblical prophecy, the world is going to be returned unto Israel under Yahweh Sham Yahushai. So the wicked, the devil, the so-called white man, all right, he has to be removed. But the Lord is going to remove him. And he's going to use his own weapon that he was given, the nuclear missile, to destroy his heaven, America.
You're destroying the water quality.
Drink it, blowing up Iraq. You can leave anytime. You want to ride to the airport?
Who blew up Syria? I'm going to wait on my
Yemen, huh?
I'm going to wait on my
wait for that UFO.
You damn right. You damn right.
See? He said, I'm going to wait for that UFO and start laughing, because that laughter is an act of covering, dread, fear, being weak. So he turns and walks away from the elder, right, looking to try to come back. He's thinking, that devil in him is trying to come back at the spirit, but he can't.
What happened, man? What's going on? Where's the scriptures, man? Where's the scriptures, man? My scriptures, man. He said, sweet, bro. Have a nice day, man. Have a nice day, man. Have a nice day.
And right there, the brothers have become like God, having power over their oppressor, and pretty much power to prophesy. All right, what did Yahweh do? He prophesied. He prophesied through his word of his son. His son came and created heaven and earth, right, by the power of his father, Yahweh, with the elect and the angels. And now everything's playing out, and it's at the end of the so-called white man's reign. Now the kingdom of heaven is to come, and we're picking up this power, right? As we're standing upon our feet, the Lord is giving us this power back, which we had before. It says in Revelation 11, verse... verse 3, it says, Revelation 11, verse 3, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, which he always had two witnesses, Moses and Aaron. He always had prophets throughout every captivity, all right, that had power to prophesy. Today you have the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom coming together prophesying. And they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth, which we are in sackcloth and we're prophesying, okay? We're in a state of mourning. We're in a state of poverty. We're not in a state of wealth in the flesh. So let me get that word power. Of course, the devil has to mess around to cause problems. Let me see. Let me see. Let me pull up the word again. Revelation 11:3 interlinear. All right. So the devil's messing with the internet. But the power is we're going to have the control of society. All right. The power, it says, and I will give power unto my two witnesses. The power is being able to stand out there and preach and not be harmed. All right. And then the Lord is going to give these devils power to make war with us by bringing out that implantable microchip. Revelation 13:4, and they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto this beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, talking shit. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh and his son Yahushai, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, his men, and them that dwell in heaven, the angels. Right? He's talking shit about them crashing the UFO. That's an insult. And it was given unto him, the so-called white man, starting with the elite, to make war with the saints. That red devil, his job is to come to try to make war against us now. Right? He made war with the world, so now the world's like in his pocket, and they're all, who could make war with this devil? Right? So there's no one here to fight this devil but the Israelites, and the Israelites are in slavery, right? So that's why he's making everything about race right now, is because he's coming after the Israelites to try to remove the name of Yahweh and his son Yahushai from off the earth. He wants to kill the prophets. And that's why the chariots, the so-called UFOs, are here, is to protect the prophets, to protect the elect, the ones, the vessels that hold this pure truth. All right? It says, and it was given to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, which he's going to kill some of us, but not all of us. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, which he has the United Nations, which you have the United Nations coming into America, right, with tanks right now. So they're about to come and make war with his saints by making that implantable microchip mandatory for buying and selling. Because it tells you, it says, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, the elite of the so-called white race, the wicked. Right now they've been given power to give life unto the image of the beast, right? That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right? And that's what they're going to do. They're going to make it a stigmata, right? Pretty much shameful not to take the implantable microchip, which they're going to make mandatory for buying and selling. But in fact, you're going to actually suffer the worst shame if you take it. All right? It says in verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark. All right? So you won't be able to go into a store unless you have an implantable microchip. All right? All right? Now, whoever takes this microchip will suffer judgment without any mercy. Revelation 14, verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture, so no mercy, into the cup of his indignation. To the Israelites that are here in America, all right, if you take that implantable microchip, you're going to be given no mercy, all right, in this land. All right. It says, and spiritual, I just found out that when you see police officers wearing black flags, those are flags of no mercy. Those are terrorist group badges. And the white flag is, surrender, show me mercy. The black flag means no mercy. All right? So when you see these police officers walking around with black flags on their vests, those are actual troops that they're going to use in these last days against the Israelites to show no mercy, and they're going to go in and slaughter you. They showed you in their movies the purges when they were killing the poor. In every one of them, they were to try to cleanse the poor. And who is the poor but the so-called black man, the so-called Hispanic, the so-called Native American Indian man? And that includes the Seminole Indian. All right? It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right? In the presence of the Lamb and in the presence of the holy angels, you're going to be destroyed with nuclear fire. All right? Now, I wanted to get another one, dealing with the end times as well, of how we're going to endure. It says in Daniel 12, verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the sons of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. All right? So Michael's going to stand for us, and he's going to fight in the spirit for us. All right? He's going to give us the words to say in that day, the things to do, and he's coming with Yahushai. All right? Because there's angels encamped around us that minister to us, just like Yahushua when he was fighting the angel Satan. It was like a spiritual battle. Our wars are not carnal, but spiritual. It's like spiritual chess. All right. When he was done, there was angels that came to minister to him, in verse 11, I'll start at 10. It says, Then saith Yahushua unto him, talking to Satan the angel, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord Yahweh thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, because that's true. So the devil can't fuck with him, right? And behold, angels came and ministered unto him. See? So when they told that devil in LA, see? When they condemned this devil, right? They were given the words to say. They didn't wake up planning for this event and what they're going to say at that time, just like we're not worried about what we're going to say in the time of when there's a great insurrection against us. All right, but the Lord is going to give us the words to say so that we overcome, whether we live or whether we die. All right? So he gave us angels that minister to us. And Jude 1, verse 9, Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, The Lord rebuke thee. Right? The Lord does not like you. And this is why. See, it's still messing up. The internet is messing up. Right? Because he can't handle that. He can't handle the truth. That's why the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. All right? It says, But said, The Lord rebuke thee. Right? And how does he rebuke him? Right here. In 2nd Ezra 15, I'll start at 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true, which we have the scriptures. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Fuck the heathen and the 2/3, the ones that don't believe, right? Don't worry about them. The hell with them. It says, For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. There you go. Their place is death. And you ain't going to convince them otherwise. It says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, right? Which just happened in Colorado. They had a hailstorm that destroyed a bunch of people, their flesh, and even their cars. I seen even their houses just yesterday. So the Lord's bringing judgment on this place. And you know who he hit with that hailstorm? A bunch of Edomites. In their pleasure, they were in Red Rocks, doing a concert. And the hailstorm came on them, and they said it was splitting their heads open and shit. So the Lord is done with this devil, and he's showing that judgment. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So he only needs the elite to push this forward, this implantable microchip, right? And he's going to do it. Yahweh controls them through Yahushua. Yahushua controls heaven and earth, right? He controls the angels and man. All three. The sons of man, the wicked, the sons of the wicked, and the sons of Yahweh. Ba'asham, Yahushua, which are the Israelites. All right? So he's going to force this so-called white man to make that chip mandatory for buying and selling, and then it's going to be nuclear destruction, right? It says, Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. See, our complaint is being heard. right? Who's destroying the air? Who's destroying the water? Who's raping the kids? Who's fucking human trafficking these children? Who's buying and selling children for food? Who's drinking the blood full of adrenaline and tormenting children to death? Right? Who's committing human sacrifice for money and power? Right? It's the so-called white man. And he's running this system. That's why in Hollywood you gotta sacrifice your family and friends. You gotta be a homosexual, a sodomite, to make it in this world. Because the wicked, the so-called white man, is in power. So what does the Lord say? Romans 9. Well, I'll start at Malachi. Let me get Malachi 1. It says in Malachi 1 verse 1, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh, I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. Right? Because they don't understand the truth because it's been hid from them by the so-called white man. The Lord says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Isaiah 1, it says, Israel does not know, nor do they consider. And that's the fault of the so-called white man. And it says in verse 3, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, which there was a time of the Dark Ages, when you had a caliphate of Islam pretty much controlling, and you had Israel up in certain high ranks, ruling as well throughout the world. It was dark-skinned people ruling, and this is why it's called the Dark Ages. And the so-called white man was put in a form of captivity, and also in the wilderness. They were cast out of the cities. All right. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, the Renaissance. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. So he's going to throw down America. America is going to go into perdition, as it's been prophesied. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. And that's that shame that's covering you right now through TikTok, YouTube, BitChute, all the Rumble, all these different platforms on the internet are revealing the so-called white man as the devil. There was even a Edomite lady like, what's wrong with these white people? Because they're trying to put the so-called black men on the reparations and all that. Because in her time, we would just be lynching these niggas, beating these spicks, right? Raping them. Where's that spirit? It's because we're at the end, and the so-called white man has weakened the nations, including his own. Now they're homosexuals, transgenders, right? You got the woman ruling over the so-called white man, right? Just like he done unto us, it's been being done unto them now. It says, and your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Israel, which that's what we're doing. We're glorifying Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right? Now go to Romans 9. Romans 9. Slop. Romans 9. And 11. It says, for the sons being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. So he put us together to live together, and it would show who's the righteous, right, and who's the wicked, and also who's the elect and who is the elite. All right, it says, and it was said unto her, the mother of the Jacob and Esau. Esau is the elder. It says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. So the elder is Esau, and he yet has not been our slave. All right. So after he goes down and his kingdom of heaven is lifted from this earth, wiped right from the face of this earth by nuclear missiles when Yahushua returns. All right? Because this America is his kingdom of heaven. This is our hell, and this is his heaven. Right? So when the Lord destroys the devil's heaven, now it's our turn to live in our heaven, and the earth is going to become a paradise on the backs of our slaves. We're going to actually build the earth back up. All right? It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Look at the difference between the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian and the Edomite. Look at the earth, the way the earth is under the rulership of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian. And look at it under the so-called white man, right? It's hell on earth under the so-called white man. But when we rule in righteousness, the people will rejoice because it will be a kingdom of heaven. And that's why the so-called white man can't stick around, because he's the wicked. He's a fugitive. And when the heat gets hot in the kitchen, he flees. So that's how you deal with the devil, even in the mind. When, it's not an actual man, but a spirit in your mind telling you words that you don't, that are not edifying, that's Satan. That's the spirit, and you got to cast it out the same way you would cast the man from before you. It's through the scriptures, as it is written, just as our Messiah has done, and just as our elders and our apostle elders, and when I say that, I'm talking about the head apostle elders, all the way down to the younger elders, which are apostles. They're out there on the street doing this work, right, in the trenches. Prophesying. That's the thing. We have the power to prophesy. And the devil cannot withstand the power that we have to prophesy. This word is not going out in vain, nor returning in vain. Okay? This word is doing what exactly Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai has created it to do. Even them that reject it. It's not the word is weak. Right? I was in there. Let me get it. Romans 9, verse 6. Not as though the word of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai had taken none effect, right? It's not like it didn't have no effect just because you didn't see it right away. It says, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. See? So, just like this guy right here, he might not have dropped dead right there in front of the camp, but when they put this word upon his soul, it freaking destroyed him. He died. Now he's standing before Yahweh and Yahushai, right? And if he's an Israelite, he's in a righteous mind. And if he's a wicked, he stopped doing ill, and soon he'll be back down to suffer punishment, right? He'll be put back in the flesh as a baby in slavery, right? Because what's going to happen to the so-called white man? They're going into slavery. Their empire is crashing. The empire to come is Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And this is of the North, Central, South, and the Caribbeans of America. All right, the Negroid and indigenous people that have been scattered throughout the world in slavery. We are the biblical Hebrew Israelites. The men are the sons of God. We are the Israelites, the princes of the power. Our God is Yahweh, and our Savior is his son, Yahushai, which is described in the scriptures. He comes in the volume of the book as a so-called black man and not a so-called white man. All right, because there is no strength in a leopard, in the so-called black man. And that dark skin they're showing power. You can see it. If you have a so-called black man next to a so-called white man, right? Even in our weak state, even a lighter so-called black man, because they're really just brown, dark brown, or light brown, like the so-called Native American Indian or the Hispanic, right? You got some that are dark and some that are light. But it's about the blood that runs through your veins if you're an Israelite. Right? If you have the faith too, because just because you're an Israelite, it said not all Israel is of Israel. Because just like this dude, he said he was a Hispanic, but he couldn't get it. He was loving the so-called white man. He was drunk on the Babylon juice, and he died in it. And the Lord could put him back to suffer in that lake of fire. You know, he could bring him back as a baby in that lake of fire. So, fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the beginning of knowledge. And he has set up these elect men, which I hope and pray to be part of the elect, doing this work, prophesying in the power of Yahweh through his son Yahushai, because our testimony is of Yahushai, the spirit of Yahushai. The testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy.